Okay, so Matt Mrozik, aka MVM097, with work in progress number 5. I think 5 on the 1/4 scale Punisher versus the Walking Dead kit. And I was going to wait a little bit till later until I received an awesome private message from, I was just going to say, the producer of this kit. Anyway, he sends me this private message basically saying, I thought I took you as a pro. No need to make the comments about the 3D striations in the kit. Simply a coat of primer or a coat of paint will take care of that. So basically what he's saying is, I love it when you say positive things about the kit, which I've said plenty about. I think it's an awesome piece. But as soon as I point out an issue, he's not okay with that. So basically, now I'm just going to go through, and when I work on this kit, I'm going to show you every single issue I come up with. Normally I don't do that, but I kind of feel like the gloves are off now. So yeah, so anytime I come up with an issue on this kit, I'm going to let you know, because it is a big piece. I don't care what anyone says. There's no such thing as a kit that is ready to paint from the producer. No way, no how. There's always work to be done. There's always prep work. There's always priming. There's always sanding. There's always filling. So yeah. So anyway, just looking at this head, if you look at his eyes, his eyebrow, underneath his lip, those are some pretty severe striations. And this is after several rounds of primer right here. I haven't done any sanding yet. Now, I have done a little sanding on the back of the neck here, and here the striations are not a problem. I don't see any. Another area where it's very evident is in the hair. That's going to be a lot of fun to sand out. Just putting primer on that is not going to take care of it. I'd have to put so much primer on there, I'd have to fill his hair in. He wouldn't have any hair left by the time I was done. So that's something to go through, and I have to sand between each strand of hair to get rid of that. So yeah, so now we're just going to point out all the issues as I go. So I did some priming last night. I did the work on the zombies as far as like the putty work, and I'm going to look at that tonight. I did buy some Rust-Oleum filler primer. The primer that's on this right now, on this face right now, is the Badger Stynylrez Res. Now I know that's not a filling primer. It's really basically it's a primer you put on right before painting. But I did put on 3 fairly good coats on this of that primer to try to fill in some of those striations. And I'm not sure. I think that's just I'm not sure if that's molded in or if that's like the striations coming through. But anyway, there's yeah. So you know, if whenever I work on a kit and I'm kind of reviewing it, I'm going to point out all the good things and all the bad things. There's no such thing as a perfect kit. I've built a ton of kits, and there's never been a kit where I took it out of the box and threw paint on it. Never, not once, ever. Doesn't matter how much I spent on it. Doesn't matter who made it. There's always work to be done. So I do have a couple kits that people say, oh yeah, it's going to be ready to paint right from the producer. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Take that with a grain of salt, because I'm really picky on prep work. So as I sand, come on, focus. You can see the striations kind of popping out underneath the chin there. So until those are gone, I'm not happy. I mean, I'm going to sand that till that's gone. I mean, maybe other painters would be okay with that. I'm not. So yeah. So right now I'm using a 3M fine sanding sponge. And I'm not sanding a whole lot because this is a pretty aggressive sponge. But see, like on the cheeks here, there's nothing. So I'm not sure why there's striations in other areas and not in some. So luckily on the face, the striations are, if I didn't really care, I could probably paint it as is and be okay, because unless you're looking up at the face like this, you're really not going to see those. But if I go in there with any pastels or anything and try to do some pastel work, they're going to pop out in a second. You're just going to see a bunch of lines. So if I want to do pastel work, which I do on my figures, I do a lot of shading with pastels. That's got to be smooth, because pastel is kind of like dry brushing. It's just going to catch the high points and nothing's getting the low points. So you'll just see a bunch of lines underneath his eyebrows, which look really stupid. So luckily this is a 1/4 scale kit and it's big, and I should be able to get away with a significant amount of priming and sanding without losing a detail, I hope. So like right there, I just hit the nose a little bit and the hair, or the lip. And they're coming out a little bit more. So as I sand, the low spots are becoming more exposed. I do have to be careful. I don't want to sand too much. So yeah, I like this kit. I'm a fan of it, but don't call me out for pointing out an issue with your kit. I mean, if you can't handle that, don't produce kits. If you can't handle people giving you an honest opinion about a kit that you produce, don't produce kits. So yeah, I'm not real happy about that whole thing. It was an unsolicited comment from him. I'm simply documenting my build of this kit that he produces and giving my opinion as I do so for anyone who may want to buy this, so that when they do buy it, they know what they're getting into. Every time if I'm going to go look for a review on something, I want an honest review. I don't want someone just puffing a piece up because someone told them to do so. I mean, if anyone followed me last year when I was prepping my Filmies Girl of Stella, it's a fantastic kit. Don't get me wrong. I love it. She's beautiful. But there was a ton of prep work on her. There was a ton of tool marks in the kit. And that's actually not on the producer. That's on the sculptor, which, by the way, is Mark Van Tine. Or no, sorry, Troy McDivitt. And I messaged him. Okay, sorry about that. My SD card filled up and stopped recording. So anyway, where the point of stop recording, I was saying, I'll just go back and kind of repeat. I was cleaning up my Filmies Girls kit of Stella, and it's a beautiful kit. Troy McDivitt is the one who sculpted it, and there's a bunch of tool marks in it. So I've kind of become friends with them on Facebook lately. So I sent him a message the other day. I say, hey, just out of curiosity, what's up with all the tool marks in the not Stella, sorry, the Freya kit? And he's like, I was trying to get her done for Wonderfest, and I didn't have enough time to really clean her up. So it's fine. There was just a lot more prep. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind prep work, but don't start calling people out and like being disrespectful to them because they're giving an honest opinion and an honest review of your product. If you don't have the cojones or balls to take a criticism, you need to find a different business, man. Do something different. Don't produce products because, like I said, I think this is a great kit. I'm really happy with it, but it's not perfect. There's prep work to be done. You can't tell me otherwise because I'm sitting here sanding on camera, and yeah. So I think for the most part, this initial sanding, I'm done with this part on this head. Except for the hair. I want to go in there with some sandpaper and do that. Let's look at the other head. So this one, same thing. Come on, focus. You got the striations. You look up on the cheek, the eyes, the chin. They're there. There's really none on the shoulders, and again in the hair. The hair is terrible on these heads as far as having to get in there and sand those out. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do a sanding from the primer I did last night, and I'm going to throw a coat of that Rust-Oleum on and see what happens, and I'll have to give it another sanding. I think the Freya kit that I was talking about earlier, I think I primed and sanded her like 5 times. But they never claimed that the kit was like, oh, no prep work, just throw some primer on and go. No, they don't claim that. They know that these are, Now I have had, for instance, I've done 3D printed kits. My 1/60th Zabi, that was 3D printed, but they cleaned up the print before they casted it. So therefore, there's no striations. Now there was work to be done on that kit. Don't get me wrong. I spent 300 hours on that kit, but I didn't have to sand any striations out. There weren't any because they were cleaned up before they casted the kit. So a simple solution is after the print, clean it up and then cast it. And then there you go. And you don't have people like me giving an honest opinion and upsetting someone because they can't take an honest opinion. So I'm not going to gripe too much about it. That's what it is, you know. I was like, yeah. Anyway, so I won't be surprised if I get blocked or anything by this guy, or you know, whatever, unfriends me. I really don't care. I'll keep doing my videos and telling you what experiences I'm having with this kit. And like any other kit, it's prep work. And anyone who doesn't like to sand should not build models. It's that simple. There's a lot of sanding. I spend so much time sanding. And that's what it is, you know. I mean, I wouldn't paint that. There's no way I'd throw paint on that with that. I'm not sure if it's showing up in camera. I'm hoping it's focusing on it. I would not throw paint on that. There's no way. Yeah. I will say that once I put the primer on there, although there are a ton of cool details on this thing. It looks cool. And there's a few paint ups already going on the Showboat model page, which are very impressive. And I don't know if those guys just threw paint on them, or if they did what I'm doing here. I don't know, because none of the pictures are close up, so I can't see. If they would do like a real tight close up shot of the face, you'd be able to tell in a heartbeat if they did any fill primer or anything like that, or sanding. I mean, if I was I don't know those guys, so I don't want to mention them or say anything about them, because I don't know them on Facebook or anything. They're not my like Facebook friends, but the paint ups look really killer. But I'm not sure if they went through all this to, you know, before they painted. Look at that nose. Boom. That to me is not ready for paint. I spend a ton of time on prep work. So the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the face part, and then I'm going to throw that Rust-Oleum on it tonight and see what that does to the area of the hair. But you have to be careful now, because now I'm starting to get to the point where I could start sanding away the eyelids, which I don't want to do. We don't want them to not have eyelids. That'd be weird. I'm going to follow up some of this other sanding sponge. It's a good thing it's a quarter scale kit, so you can actually get away with quite a bit of sanding and stuff without worrying too much about losing detail. But as always, you want to sand as little as possible. You want to retain all that detail. Actually, I have a super fine. That would probably work better for this. So I'm not sure how long my video is at. This portion's at 7 minutes. I mean, it's just me sanding and griping. But yeah. I'm not real happy with the message I got this morning, so you guys will see all the steps I'll have to do to get this to, in my opinion, to get it ready for paint. And I'm pretty proud of my paint jobs. I mean, I can really feel them. I can on some of the parts you can put your nail in and go. You can feel it, and you can hear your nails scraping across striations. Again, I wouldn't be pulling this out so much if I didn't get that comment this morning from him. Oh, I took you as a pro, and It wasn't necessary to make that comment. Just a little bit of primer or paint would have taken care of that. Well, no, a little bit of primer or paint will not take care of that. A little bit of primer and paint, a lot of primer, a lot of sanding will take care of that. But no, not a little bit of primer, a little bit of paint. Let's see, one area that's really bad is actually the gun. The gun, you can see, I mean, that's pretty crazy. Some of these I may have thrown a primer on it last night to, well, a little bit of sanding will take care of it. But there you can see it. Pretty sure it's showing up. I got a lot of light on it. And on the hand there, all these swirl marks, all these right in here, that's all got to be sanded out. I'm not going to put paint on that. Same with here, and here, and here, and here, and all, basically everything. I'm not going to throw paint on that. That's not really, can you hear that? That's the sound of my tool scraping the striations. That is not, that's what, in quote, hardly there. He said there's hardly any on here. Not, there is a good amount. It's the exact opposite, actually. So again, I have to be real careful that I don't sand too much or put too much primer on. And Jason Eaton told me I should return this kit. Well, I can't, unfortunately, because I've already got primer on it and started to work on it. But, I mean, it'll look good when I'm done. It doesn't take work. I have no doubt that it'll look great when I'm finished. But it will take me, I'll spend at least a week sanding on this thing. At least a week. You know, with my, you know, work schedule and stuff going on. Which I'm okay with. Again, I'm okay with prep work. I'm not okay with someone insulting me for giving my honest opinion about something. So, yeah, that's not cool. I told him basically, if you don't like what I'm saying, don't watch my videos. And that's, you know, that's it. Simple as that. So, we'll see. So anyway, that's enough of me griping and sanding. But anyway, this next step is I'm going to be sanding, a lot of sanding, and then another round of primer. We'll see where we are from there. So always, thanks for watching. It's Matt Mrozik, aka MVM397, signing off. Bye.